Hello everybody and welcome back to Minecraft in our surviving Minecraft world. And today, we're gonna pick up right where we left off. We've had a little bit of time, so these trees have grown. Like I said, it kind of spread the pods all across the grass here. The jungle tree up here hasn't grown yet, but it should in just a minute. Hopefully. We'll see. But that is not the focus of our episode today. I cleared out our inventory other than a sapling I just picked up. I also expanded our inventory a little bit here. And we are going to make two things right now with some of this iron. The first is an iron pick, which we are going to hold on reserve because it is for diamonds and things that can only be broken with iron. We're going to generally use stone otherwise. And we're going to make another stone pick because today we're going to be making our way into the mines. So, we want to have plenty of tools on hand. Speaking of things that have kind of been left to sit and run here, let's do this. There we go. Was that it for our kelp? Yes, it was. Okay. So, that'll keep our furnace running for a little while, at the very least. It's not, like I said, the most ideal food source, but it is fantastic when you need to run a furnace. So, we'll let that sit and go. And then, let's see, we've got torches. You can switch to items to your offhand with the F key in Java, so we're going to keep torches in our offhand while we go mining, just so they are easier to place, and we're going to start from the entrance we've already set up over here. And every 10 blocks or so, wow. Every 10 blocks or so, we'll need to put down a torch, but we're just going to start a staircase that's going to annoy a lot of people unless I increase this in by 1 in height. There we go. A lot of people really don't like it if you have a staircase where you're going to hit your head on every step. I think it's fine. At least until you can come through and swap in stairs. But, yeah, this is going to be the bulk of this specific episode is going to be heading down to mining levels. Hypothetically, we could go into the big cave out there, but I get the distinct impression that there's going to be a lot of mobs in there, since there's not a whole lot of places for them to spawn right now. And I'd rather play things a little safe for the early game right now. There's actually one other thing I'd like to do once we're done with our little mining trip here. But we'll get to that in a couple minutes. And it's not at all necessary to do a too-wide staircase for this. I just prefer it, but hey, there is some more iron. This is already paying out for us. I moved a little too quickly there. And that's it. Okay. Either way, that's fantastic. We are 5 iron richer than we started. And ideally, we're going to try and get down to diamond levels. And this does two things. The first is it's going to get us a lot of building materials, which we're desperately going to need. We are very early into this world. And the second thing it does is it's going to get us crafting materials for, hopefully, ideally, if we can get that far, some better tools and armor. We are going to burn through several picks doing it, though. And we're just going to try and keep this relatively well lit the whole way down so that you guys can see as well as I can. Some shader packs or some mods and resource packs will make it to where when you're holding a torch in your hand, you'll have light in the area around you. Since we're doing this completely vanilla, obviously we don't have that, but it is something to bear in mind. I think that Minecraft is really special as far as games go, because it is the ultimate example of a sandbox game. There is no wrong way to play Minecraft. I was having this conversation the other day, actually, because the only thing that is cheating in Minecraft is anything you can do in a single-player world. The only thing that is cheating is things that cheapen your experience. If you want to play with Keep Inventory on, play with Keep Inventory on. If you want to play with mods, play with mods. If you want to, you know, play in peaceful or jump between creative mode and survival mode and do all of that, that is perfectly fine. It is how you enjoy the game. That is valid, and it's not cheating. Now, the time that you should consider that something might be cheating is when you're playing in a group setting, if you're on a server. Anything, because when you join a server, you're joining a set of rules that have been agreed upon. You're joining a sort of social contract. And anything that breaches that social contract would be cheating only because of the rules that have been applied through the presence of more than one person. If you're playing by yourself, nothing is cheating as long as it's not cheapening your experience, and if you're playing on a server, then the only thing that is cheating is things that go against what the group has generally agreed to be acceptable. But Minecraft is a pretty free, open game. It's really hard to sincerely cheat at Minecraft. And I think that's part of what makes it so special. And obviously, I'm in a situation right now where, in this world and in my SSP world and in the things that I'm doing for YouTube, it's not just my experience. It is an experience for other people as well. So it does bind me to that sort of social contract logic. I can't just jump into creative mode and add a bunch of stuff to my inventory. That would be cheating because it would not only cheapen my experience, but the experience of people who are watching me play this series. And that, too, would be cheating. Little hole in the ground here. Clear out the water real quick. We also have a cave nearby. Figure that out in a minute. I mean, we might actually find it while we're clearing out this coal, but... But because I am doing this for the purpose of YouTube and for the purpose of entertainment, anything that I do is under the microscope of the rules that I have agreed to play within for the purpose of a video series. And I generally tend to play the game in a very vanilla survival way. I have, in my survival single-player world, a small number of quality of life mods, things that just make the game a little bit better to record. And some people think that that is cheating in some way, some people don't. It's a matter of perspective and perception. To me, I consider that as long as I'm transparent about what I have going on, I don't think that anything that I do is cheating because you've agreed to the contract of watching me play this game in a way that is fulfilling and enjoyable, and that doesn't cheapen either of our experience, you as the watcher or me as the player. And you and I may disagree on what cheapens the experience. And that is very valid, but at the end of the day, I get to set the rules for the experience that I'm having, And as long as I'm abundantly clear about the rule set of that experience, you get to make an informed decision on whether or not it is an experience that you would like to participate in. I think that people get way too hung up about the concept of cheating in Minecraft sometimes. So anyways, I personally like to keep torches in my offhand because Java is wonderful and allows me to do so. And because it makes it really easy for me to go through and mine without having to stress about having to switch between hotbar slots to place torches. I can just very easily, very fluidly work my way through a cave. And we have our first lapis. Fabulous. Up above us, there's a cave, and in that cave above us, there is a skeleton. Interesting. Okay, anyways. We are going to have to go make some more tools here in a minute, but we've made some pretty good headway on starting our mine, at least. I think let's clear a couple blocks here so that we can step that up to where it needs to be, step that up to where it needs to be, and then we can continue going from here as per normal. Alright. Because we are still nowhere near as low as we would like to be, and there's another cave. Okay. Well, we're gonna go get our iron smelting, make a new set of picks. The biggest problem with stone tools is you burn through them so quickly. Stash a bunch of the stuff that we've gathered so far, and then get right back to it. And it is raining. Of course it's raining. Minecraft's rain is, frankly, probably one of the worst things about Minecraft. As much as I love it, it is very loud and very disruptive. But that's fine. It'll go away when we sleep. Okay. Fabulous. And toss that in. And craft these. And one more of those. I'm gonna have to go gather some more kelp in a minute. But now that gives us some andesite, diorite, granite, plenty of cobblestone. Grab some wood. Keep that much on us. I think, actually, hold on. Take the 20 jungle wood with us, because we're going to need a few things when we... What am I doing? Get back down there. We can kind of set a little bit of a base camp. And then... we'll do that. Get all those. I have a bunch of coal now, so I can make some more torches. Perfect. Four, and that gets us 32 of those. We want 16 for now. So that'll get us a stack of torches. Fabulous. And we'll take the extra with us, because that'll get us another stack of torches later. Ooh, creepers. We didn't get our jungle tree, though. Alright. I don't know about you guys, but I yearn for the mine. getting closer. Eh? No. Yeah, somewhere right above us there. Okay, well. Once again, not my problem right now. Down we go. I don't have any exact plans for this specific world. I think that pretty much the only thing that's important to me to do in this world is kind of cover a lot of the survival Minecraft process, some little stuff that, like I said earlier in the series, I take for granted after having played the game for so many years. There's a lot of stuff that I don't even think about at the start of a new world. I just do it because I'm so used to doing it. And there's a lot of little control things, there's a lot of little tips and tricks that can make the game a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable that I could be sharing if I was to just take a minute and think about them. But small stuff, being able to turn coal into charcoal, the difference between... Oh, I'm sorry, being able to turn logs into charcoal, the difference between coal and charcoal, which isn't much, to be honest. Charcoal can be used to make campfires, coal can't. Coal can be crafted into blocks, charcoal can't. Other than that, they can both be used for the same recipes. They're both identical in almost every way. Inherently, just because of the ability to make so many alternative fuels at this point, I feel like coal has lost a lot of its original value. You don't really need coal the same way you did in earlier versions of Minecraft. If not coal, then you'll use, for example, charcoal. You'll use lava as a fuel source in furnaces. You can use dried kelp blocks, which are a little bit more work to make, but more efficient fuel, given that where a piece of coal or charcoal will cook 8 items, a block of dried kelp is, I believe, 20. If I'm wrong, there will be a correction on the screen here, but I'm pretty sure that is correct. Aha! That is delightful. Our first redstone. Not enough, but a start. We're gonna need a lot more. Any chance there's more diagonally from that? No? Of course not. That would have been nice. But we are hitting deep slate levels now. Which is where we're going to see these stone tools slow down a lot. Iron's not much faster, but it is better at least a little bit. But that is a very good sign, because it means that we can start seeing diamonds. Of course, the correct level to mine for diamonds has changed several times. If I remember right, at this point, it's negative 27? But again, I could be wrong about that. I'll double check. If I'm wrong, there will be a note up on the screen. But I'm going to go down to about negative 27 just to start us off here. And I don't necessarily expect us to find diamonds in this first little mining trip, though it would be really nice. This is more just to get the mine established going down. And we'll also have to do a break at, I think it's negative 16, which is the best level, or one of the best levels for iron. So, having different ores show up at different levels, I think, you know, makes a lot of sense. Diamonds especially are something that's produced by a lot of pressure and time. So it would make sense that it's deep down where it's under a lot of gravitational pressure. Honestly, I have no idea what the best level for redstone is, but I usually find enough just mining for other stuff that it's not really an issue. That said, if you have a really big redstone plans, you definitely want to go the path of a witch farm, because, well, it's really easy to use a lot of redstone very quickly. But that's all scope and scale things. Speaking of, where are we at? So, we are at -4. So we have -5, -6, okay. Little ways to go, about another 20 blocks down. Nope. Immediately place and then break the torch. Alright. And I keep moving a little too soon. It is nice, though, that at least by order of likelihood, there is a best level to mine each thing at. That does make it really, really easy to find what you're looking for. And oftentimes it's better to cave than to strip mine, but especially early game before we have any armor or anything else, I prefer to take things as safe as possible. Am I overly cautious? Yeah, probably. But I'd rather be overly cautious than repeatedly dead. What's the line out of, Subnautica 2's early game? Prepare to die usefully? That's one that I'd like to pick up at some point, actually. The more I've seen of the early game for it, the more I think that it'd be a lot of fun. I never played the first one, though, so I should probably go back and play that before I, look at number 2. All of this deep slate's gonna be really nice when we start doing some expansion and start planning some builds for a few other things that we've got to get going. It just looks really nice. I like deep slate bricks. And there's some cave sounds. I love the ambient cave noises in Minecraft. They really make you question your safety. Especially when you're playing with no music like I am. You guys get music in the edits, but the actual play here has no music to it, so it just comes out of nowhere, sudden sound effects. Oh, hey. There is some tuff. That's actually the easiest way to find iron, is by following tuff veins. And that is at -20, which is actually a pretty decent spot for hunting out some iron. We might follow this tuff vein in a little while, but for now, we're just going to keep going through it. We're not where we want to be yet. Also, though, the polished tuff blocks, they did a really good job on. I think they're a great addition to the build palette. are getting pretty close to negative 27 here. How close are we? We're at 23, 24, 25, so 2 more. And then we're gonna set a little bit of a base camp down here in the mine. Lots of creepy, crawly zombie noises nearby, which is, a sign. It's something. Sounds like it's just one, so not too bad. It's not like it's the sound of, you know, 10 zombies on the other side of the wall where you say, oh, that's a mob spawner. Go to about there, throw our new stack of torches in our offhand, maybe go 2 blocks back in each direction here. If we're really lucky, we'll find some diamonds while doing this, but I'm not expecting that. Of course, once we get some iron armor and some, at least basic setup going for not being, you know, naked and unarmed, we'll be able to start expanding into, hopefully, a little bit more of the adventuresome side of the game. It's just a lot of stuff you really don't want to do until you're at least partially equipped. Where are you at? Like, directly up. Okay. So I should probably be a little careful while I am... we'll use the iron. Going through here... Beautiful. I hear some lava lake action going on through that corner. So, plunk this down here. We'll go ahead and make a couple of furnaces. Throw down our travel bed. Apparently it's nighttime. Fabulous. Okay. Then I brought some wood with me for a reason. Well, for a number of reasons, but here are the first 2. Beautiful. Okay. Alright. A little bit of a base camp set up, and then what we can do is, whatever directions we want to go in, I figure we'll go from here to start strip mining this way. We'll put a torch there. and a door there. And then we want to be 3 blocks away, so here would be ideal. And the reason for that is, and maybe this has changed, it very well could have, it's been a very long time, but most most diamond ore veins will be too wide. So if we have 2 doors 3 blocks apart from each other, if there is a 2 wide diamond vein here or here, we'll catch it. There's a small chance that we could have a 1 wide diamond vein in the middle, but it's not super likely, and honestly, I think that the chance is much more in our favor of finding diamonds this way. So, this is how I've been doing it forever. I don't plan to stop now, but that is a little bit of the reasoning why. And more cave noises. We're just going to run just a little distance this way and see if we can happen to chance upon some diamonds. There's apparently a cave to our right. And again, between episodes, I'll double-check myself on the diamond levels, but if I am wrong, you'll see some information on that on screen, and in the next episode, we will do something about that. I don't think that I want to explore this cave right now, so we're just gonna do that for now. Just because, again, we don't have any armor at the moment, and I'd really rather not take any unnecessary chances. There we go. They are not going to give us anything, are they? I don't think they are. Let's see. No dice. No. Here. No. Nope. What about here? We're just taking some stab in the dark chances with some poke holes. Nope. No. Nope, and nada. Alright, well, we've at the very least gotten our area down here established. And we got a good bit of extra iron out of this adventure, so let's go put some of it to use. And at some point, we'll come through and replace all of these steps with proper stairs, just so we don't have to jump all the way up, because it does burn a lot more food this way. But the big hurdle is done. We're at least down to somewhere in the ballpark of the right levels. I'll double check myself. Like I said, on screen, right now while we're going up here, I might as well put it up again. We'll have the best levels for iron and diamonds both. Just so you can have that information. Alright, no creepers. Perfect. And sprint jumping is ever so slightly faster than just sprinting. So, you'll see me doing that a lot. I don't know if I had explained this one in a previous episode, so I'll just go ahead and re-explain it. If you've got multiple stacks of something in your inventory, first off, I know I explained this part, but you can double-click to gather. But the second thing is, now we've got multiple stacks, if I just double-click, it'll gather, but if I shift double-click, it'll send all of those stacks into the inventory I'm looking at. So you can very quickly transfer a lot of something between two inventories. Alright, what was I about to do? We are going to get proper egg production online. And I'm going to need a little more wood. Because we are going to take one of these and turn it into a hopper. Perfect, and then we're going to need some kind of blocks. That'll work. This is going to be a very ugly eyesore, but it'll be a temporary ugly eyesore. So, you know, we'll take it. We're going to do these like this, our hopper into there. And then we want to do 3 high, 3 high, 3 high. And that bottom one we're going to want to replace with either an upside down stair or a slab. I need to make a pick real quick. Speaking of which, need to get some of that going. Explain that one in a second. That'll do for now. And we'll do an upside down stair. And I clicked that too quickly. That's the problem with the double click gather, is if you do it too fast, it'll betray you. I'll fix my inventory organization here in a minute. There we go. Okay. And then we may as well get ourselves a staircase up. Perfect. Sleep for the night real quick. Then we've got a couple of options. Option A is the easier path, which is to grab our eggs. And see if we can't just get a chicken in the hole. And we did. Perfect. And option B, just to cover our bases here, is to lure a chicken into the hole. Are you coming? Come on. We got room for both of you. Alright, come on, you. There we go. And the reason that we want to get poultry in the hole is that a chicken will lay an egg roughly every 5 minutes. So, I think it's actually pretty exactly every 5 minutes, but it's neither here nor there. If we can knock a couple of chickens into a hole, that is now 3 chickens standing on a hopper, which will pick up the eggs they drop and deliver them into this chest. If this had been left as a full block, this chest wouldn't be able to open, but because this is a transparent block, it's a stair or a half slab or something else, we can open this chest. So, over time, this is going to gradually fill up with more eggs, and then we'll eventually be using those eggs and some redstone shenanigans to solve world hunger, we'll say. Since it is the hunger of my survival world. We're gonna say that because it's technically true. Even if not necessarily spiritually honest. Alright. Perfect. Drop all of our extra stuff. Relatively clean inventory. We're going to have to sort out some food here in a second, but at this point, sorting out... here we go. Wait, hold on. I'm doing that thing where I can't remember. It is stone blocks, okay. I was about to make a terrible mistake. It's one of those newer recipes that I just have a hard time remembering. We have a stonecutter. Highly recommend making one of these as early in your world as possible. And we'll talk about why real quick as the last thing in this episode. So, let's say you want to make cobblestone stairs. We can use 6 cobblestone to make 4 stairs, which is incredibly inefficient. Or we can use 1 cobblestone to make 1 stair, or 1 wall, or 2 half slabs. You get a much better transition, and this doesn't work on anything wood. It only works on stone. Obviously, the stonecutter in the name gives that away a bit. But if we take our tuff, for example, we have all of the chiseled tuff slabs, tuff bricks, polished tuff, all of that we can just make on a one-to-one basis. Our deep slate's the same way. If we throw our cobbled deep slate in here, you can make chiseled deep slate tiles, deep slate bricks, polished deep slate, and it's just significantly more efficient as far as materials go. You're going to have a lot less waste. Speaking of waste, I did just waste a dried kelp block, so that's a bit of a shame. We'll have to go out there and mow down the kelp again and get more cooking at some point here, but that is about it for this episode, guys. Thanks so much for coming along on the adventure. If you're enjoying the series, then please let me know in the comments. You can find a playlist on the channel with all of the videos for this series, as well as everything else that I've done. If I got anything wrong, please let me know in the comments. I would love nothing more than to be corrected so that I can give the best possible information here. And there will probably be a few corrections on screen throughout the episode as I call myself out on things. So, thanks for coming along on the adventure, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!